Chapter 9. Do you need to stop, Miss Diamond? It takes me several moments to realize where I am and who's speaking to me. When I shake my head and look straight out, I see Cash, gazing at me with tears in his eyes. He's looking at me like a true friend, caring, compassionate, and willing to go the extra mile for me. I'm very lucky to have him in my life. Yes, please, I say. Telling my story to Cash and all the world while cameras roll takes more out of me than I realized it would. I'm handed tissues and I wipe my wet face, surprised by the tears streaming down. I don't normally cry over Bentley anymore. It's been 11 years since I lost him. I allow tears on the one day a year I visit his grave. I vowed to keep my promises to him, and though I couldn't do it at first, I think I've done well in the later years. At first, I was angry with him. I felt abandoned. I felt as if he lied to me, as if he didn't fight hard enough. I was either racked with grief or anger. There was no other emotion I felt. But Steffi helped me remember my vows when the initial pain dimmed the slightest bit. Your Honor, we'd like to call a recess, Cash says. That's a great idea, Judge Croesus says. We'll resume court tomorrow. He bangs his gavel. Your Honor, Cash says before the judge leaves. May I please make a request? Go on, the judge says. Cash sighs. Miss Diamond isn't in the least a flight risk. Her parents are here, her loved ones are here, and she's never fought this proceeding from moving forward. Her bail was denied a month ago because of her easy access to money and her ability to travel, but her passport, IDs, and money are all being held. I'll take full responsibility of her if you could please allow her to remain in my custody for the remainder of this trial. The story she's sharing with us is incredibly painful, and I think she needs to be with her family, not alone in a jail cell. Cash stops. I look at him, thankfully. For once he isn't showboating or making a joke. He's letting the judge know this isn't another game he's playing, but that he's truly worried about me. I haven't minded the jail cell, but I also haven't dived this deeply into the past in a very long time. I really want to be with my loved ones. I'm not sure I'll survive all alone after reliving my story. Time does heal all wounds, but time is an abstract. The walls of time can be torn down in the blink of an eye, just as it is happening now. Does the prosecution have any objection to this? The judge asks. I see that they want to fight this request. I also see them look at the jury, who look as if they won't forgive them if they don't allow some compassion. As long as Mr. Abernathy takes full responsibility for his client, we won't object, the head attorney says. He doesn't appear happy, but he knows he's been painted into a corner. I agree that Miss Diamond isn't a flight risk. We will, however, fit her with an ankle monitor. She's to only go to the hotel and the courthouse. Is that clear? The judge asks. It's very clear, Your Honor. Thank you for your compassion, Cash says. I hear a sob and see my mother openly weep with sadness and joy that she'll get to spend time with me. I feel the same. Steffi is on one side of my mother and my father is on the other, cradling her. Bailiff, take Miss Diamond back to the jail to fit her with an ankle monitor. Mr. Abernathy can pick her up in 2 hours. Yes, Your Honor, the bailiff says, seeming quite pleased at the turn of events. I friended Phil in my month in jail. He's a good man with a family of his own. I like him. I like most law professionals. They truly are here to protect and serve, and they've saved my bacon a few times over the years. I leave the courthouse and ride in the back of a police cruiser to the jail, This time, though, instead of being taken to a lonely cell, I'm taken to a room where they put out a black band. The sheriff explains how it works, that it's able to track me. He also says if I try to take it off, there'll be a dozen police officers at my door. I promise I won't mess with it. He explains that I'm only allowed to go to the hotel where Cash has already reserved a suite and back to the courthouse. If I try to deviate in any way from this, I'll be back in jail. I ask if I can take a walk, and he says only around the hotel grounds. If I leave the hotel premises, even so much as step onto the street, it will set off an alarm. I'm not willing to risk going back to jail. There's a chance I'll lose this case, that the jury won't like me. It doesn't matter what evidence I have. If they vote to convict, I could spend the rest of my life in prison. I haven't been afraid of that happening until now. Talking about Bentley and what we went through together has made me realize how much I need my loved ones in my life. I don't want to be locked away and alone for the remainder of my years. What does that mean, exactly? Does it mean I need to find another soulmate? Or does it mean I need to go home? Who knows? I'm too raw right now to make any decisions. I'm not worried, though. I know, like always, I'll figure it out. Cash is on time to pick me up, and as soon as I step through the front doors of the jail, he holds out his arms. I run into them, and he pulls me in close for a hug. Thank you, Cash. I didn't think it was possible to have any freedom. Maybe never again, I say. I didn't think I cared. A lot of us don't think things matter until they're taken away from us. Repeat offenders boggle my mind. I spent one night in jail, which was well worth it, and not horribly bad, but I can't imagine spending months or years behind bars. One night wasn't bad, but for weeks on end, I'd go crazy. I've been fine, I tell him. But you're right. Talking about Bentley, talking about the past, and remembering what sent me into this new life has been harder than I thought it would be. I miss him. He takes my cheek in his hand and smiles. He sounds like he was a great man. I'm sorry you lost him. It's helping me understand why you are you. I'm sorry I wasn't honest with you, Cash. I'm sorry I wasn't free to love you how you should have been loved. I'm not sorry for a single minute of our time together. It was fun, emotional, and gave me a friend for life. I hate that you had to run away at the end, but I don't hate how our story began and how it's finishing. He says, that attitude is what made me fall so hard for you, Cash Abernathy, even if you are a bit of a southern snob with your old school money. He throws his head back and laughs, then places my arm in his as he leads me to the vehicle he is waiting. Look who's talking, Miss Moneybags. You were always so frugal. Who would have known you're a multimillionaire? Or is it billionaire now? I haven't looked to see how much money is in there. I've never considered it mine. I used very little as I traveled the world, preferring to earn my own. We slid into the back seat of the vehicle, and he gives the address of the hotel before we speak again. It is your money. From what you said in court today, and from what Steffi told me last night, your husband truly loved you and wanted you to have everything of his, including his money. If I was with the love of my life and I died, I'd want her to be more than comfortable when I was gone. He assures me. It's Steffi's money. It all should have gone to her, but she wouldn't take it. I say, she's right not to. Besides, if I was married to the love of my life and something were to happen to me, it would give me comfort knowing she's taken care of. It's what we do for the people we love. I guess I never thought of it that way before. You've lived a lot of years with guilt and despair. The best thing you can do for Bentley is to fly, as he asked you to do with his last breaths. It's what he really wanted. It's what Steph wants. And it's what I want. Anyone who's ever loved you wants you to soar. I'm too choked up to respond to this man I'm very lucky to have met. Okay, enough of this talk. We're on the way to the hotel where there are some very happy people excited to share dinner with you. Do you think I can sneak in a glass of wine? I ask with a forced chuckle. I'm trying desperately to pull myself from the sadness trying to overtake me. I won't tell if you don't, he says. Even my dad, the preacher man, likes a good glass of red on occasion. Then we'll have some communion. He smiles. We arrive at the hotel and walk inside. Cash said he'd have clothes and toiletries sent up to the room. Of course, Steffi went right out as soon as she knew I was free for a while, to buy me some much-needed items. It'll be great to soak in a hot tub. I hope the room has a deep one. It's been a while since I've been able to enjoy that simple luxury. I often bathed with Bentley. I haven't with another man. It felt wrong to do so. We go straight into the restaurant, and then my eyes fill again when my parents and Steffi jump from their seats and yell congrats. They have balloons and flowers sitting on the long table. I rush to them, my father the first to grab me. He lifts me in the air, his strong arms holding me close. I was so afraid of losing his respect, and it frees me more than anything else to be in his embrace again. To know he loves me no matter what I do in life. It makes me humble. We should all be as forgiving as my father is. I've missed you so much, Daddy, I say. I miss you every day you're away from me, baby girl, he answers, just as he always did when I was a little girl and left for a week at summer camp. I've been so blessed to grow up with you and Mom. I might not have always listened to your advice, but the older I am, the more I realize you are always right. He laughs, that beautiful laugh that's certain to fill a room with pure joy. Every parent dreams of hearing their child say that to them one day. He stops and cups my cheek. Not all of us are so lucky as to have a lost child come home. I'm going to be thankful every day that you're healthy and here with us. Me too, Daddy. Me too, I say. Okay, my turn. My mother takes me from my father and holds on tight. My dad has always been the one I go to when the world's falling apart, but my mother is the one who's been there for each and every normal moment of my life. She never missed a game I played in, or a school event, no matter how boring. She's that mother the other kids go to first when they accomplish something. I remember track events where the students would rush to my mother, who was always sitting in the stands, and show off their new PRs, personal records, to her. She was proud of each and every one of them. That's the home I grew up in. I don't know how I ever thought I needed to fly so far from home when I had everything a girl could want and much more right where I was raised. I tell her, You had to find yourself, doll. There's nothing wrong with that. The best thing a parent can do is set their child free, and then pray every day they'll come back home once they've found themselves. I'm home, Mom, no matter where I am. My heart will always be home. I promise her. Well, your father and I might travel before it gets too late. Maybe once all this is over, you can show us the world. My eyes widen at my mother's words. There's nothing I'd love more than that, Mom. I didn't think you'd ever want to leave home. Mothers have secrets too, darling. Maybe you're old enough now that I can share some of them with you, she says, sounding younger than I've ever heard her sound before, as she lets out a girlish giggle. I love every second of it. My mother finally releases me, and Steffi pulls me close, moving us away from the group. Each time Steffi and I hug, I think I'm getting a double hug. I close my eyes and know I'm not only with my best friend, but I also feel Bentley's arms around me. They were so much alike, and it's as if he's living on forever within his twin. Steffi was devastated when he died, but she also told me they shared the same womb, the same DNA, and the same heart. She has no doubt he's still here with us. For the first time in 11 years, I believe that's true. I'm so glad you're here. I love you, I tell her. That goes double for me, she says, just as she has many times before. I know exactly what she means. Bentley is with us. How was your meeting last night? I whisper before I lean back and wink at her. That boy is delicious, and he's kind of shy. I like it. Steffi chuckles. I might be a little too scary for him, though. She suddenly grows serious. I do like him. I was just flirting to be obnoxious, how I normally am. But he's a pretty wonderful guy. He made me laugh more than once this week while you've been on trial. She stops again. Is it weird I like one of your husbands? The words sound so funny that it makes me laugh. It isn't a slight laugh, but a full-blown belly laugh that has everyone staring. It brings tears to my eyes, but these are happy tears. Let me tell you a little secret. I give a dramatic pause as she chews on her lips, waiting for what I have to say. I'm thrilled. I can see the two of you together as a couple. She waits a heartbeat before speaking. She pulls me farther from the group to be sure my parents and Cash can't overhear our conversation. But we swore we'd never date the same guy. It's too much like incest, she says as she makes a face. I laugh again. It feels so dang good to laugh. It's been way too long. I agree. You're my sister through and through. However, the other part of my secret is, we didn't sleep together. I finish, dropping the bombshell. Her eyes widen. Wait, hold the fort, she says, one of her favorite sayings. How is that possible that you married this man, lived with this man, and spent months with him, but didn't have sex with him? There's no way I'd last a day, let alone months, without ripping his clothes off. I guess you'll have to wait for that story to find out what happened between us. There's a lot to tell, but I only want to say it once, so you'll have to discover the story at the same time everyone else does. You're cruel, Charlie. Seriously cruel, she says, glaring at me. Yep, I know. I give another laugh. And yet you love me anyway. Yes, I'll always love you. Now, feel free to chase the man. You will notice there's no ring on his finger. The two of you will make a fine couple, I insist. He's an attorney. He might try to bust me for my extracurricular activities, she says. We both know she's not at all worried about that. She's far too good for anyone to ever bust her. I laugh again. Somehow, I don't see that happening. I think he'll be very impressed with who you are and what you can do. You're the most brilliant woman I've ever known. I don't know about that. You're pretty damn smart yourself. After all, I might have given you your new identities over the years and cleaned things up a little. But you're the one who learned how to do each and every job no matter what situation I put you in. I learned those jobs because I was blessed with a photographic memory. Have I thanked you for the past decade? I ask. Only about a dozen times, she says with a wave of her hand. Of course, in the beginning, you weren't thanking me. You were cursing me. I didn't want to run away, but I'm so glad I did. I have zero regrets. I didn't realize that until now, but I'm glad I've lived 12 lifetimes in 11 years. I don't think I'd have survived losing Bentley if you hadn't sent me out on missions. It was the only thing that occupied my mind and freed me enough to stop sobbing. I know that. Bentley knew that too. We're going to seize the world, Charlie. We aren't stopping now, Steffi assures me. We have so much farther to go in life, and we'll do it side by side. No, we aren't stopping now. We'll do it together, always together. We lock arms as we turn back to the table where Cash is busy chatting with my parents. At my seat is a glass of red wine. I sit down and pick it up. Cash taps his own with his spoon. We all go quiet as we look at him. "I'd like to make a toast," he says. My parents and Steffi pick up their own glasses of wine. "To love, to life, and to freedom. May we appreciate all these things each and every day we draw breath." "Hear, hear," my father says. "Amen," my mother and Steffi say in unison. "Thank you all," I say. We tip our glasses back and drink. We'll get through anything that comes our way because we're united. We're family. And we're free.